We're here to interview Jetka Witkowski. Today is March 27th, 2013. We're at the Renaissance Hotel in Washington, D.C. How are you today, Mrs. Witkowski?
It is a sad day going through the Holocaust Museum, but I'm okay.
You're okay. Well, I understand that you're also a writer, and you've written 7 books, is that correct?
No.
More?
One book.
One book.
Just one book. I'm not really a writer. I'm a Holocaust survivor who wants to tell the story, what I went through during the after World War, during World War II.
And World War II, and you were born in Poland?
I was born in Poland, in a small town.
And the name of the town was?
Witkowski.
What was the largest town?
Near Wrocław, not Wisła. Near Wrocław.
Wrocław,
yeah.
okay.
It came from a small town where everybody knew everybody. It was a very close-knit family.
Do you have an idea of how many Jews lived in your town?
About approximately 500 people.
500 people.
Approximately, yeah.
And let me take you back to when you were going to school, your first school that you went to. You went to a public school.
I went to a public school. In Poland, everybody had to go through 7 to 40. It started at 7, and we went to 14 years. That was the public school. But we had foreign language. We had geography with it, history. To me, it's like in the United States high school. According to the high school of the United States, there was no college in our town. There were no high school. We just did 7 years of school. That's all. And some people who had only one child or 2 and they had lots of money, they sent the children to bigger towns where there were colleges and they got better educated.
Let me ask you something about your education. I know you spoke about a public school.
Yeah.
At any time did you have a Jewish education in a Jewish school, like a cheder?
Of course. I used to be, we went to the school, to the, public school. We went to about 4 o'clock, and during the classes, we had one day a week where the rabbi came and taught the Jewish students the religion, and the priest came and taught the Gentile students their religion, After school, I used to go to a Hebrew school, which they call Beis Yaakov.
Beis Yaakov.
Beis Yaakov, yeah. Where I got my Jewish education. We were not taught Hebrew, but we were taught Yiddish, In Europe, there was put, in Europe, the boys had to be educated. The women, they didn't care about. Just as she was a good person and future wife and mother of their children, that was. But I belonged to the Hashomer HaTzayir, the Chinese organization. I was very active in the library, and it was a beautiful life, very peaceful, happy with my 9 brothers and sisters, with my parents. They had business. There were business people it was a small supermarket where Gentile people and Jewish people all came shop there. Even the priests of the town used to come in, and they knew everybody by the first name. It was a very close-knit family. And we were very friendly with our neighbors. We really didn't feel the anti-Semitism in our town where I was born. There were quite a few anti-Semitic incidents, but in general, we got along beautifully with the Gentile people. I had Gentile friends from school, which I grew up with. Of course, I had lots of Jewish friends, boys and girls. And what can I tell you? Life was beautiful.
Let me ask you a question. It's interesting. You said something where you mentioned that in your own public school, they allowed a day where you would have instruction from your rabbi, and they did the same for the Christian children, which I find very unusual because it's the first time I heard that.
Yeah.
That in the public school they allowed for Jewish education one day a week, and that's why I can understand the anti-Semitism.
A rabbi used to come in and teach us the history
the
of
Aleph
the
Beis.
Jewish people. Aleph Beis. The Aleph Beis we learn more in the Beis Yaakov, you know.
Uh-huh.
And the rabbi more history of the Jewish people, you know, about the holidays. What does it mean to be Jewish, you know what I mean? And it was and my parents were very religious people. My father used to get up in the morning, go to the shul, to daven, and then in the evening, of course, he went to
Mincha
Mariv.
Mariv in the evening. Let me ask you, we know about your father. What was his name?
Hersh Yankiv.
Hersh Yankov.
Hersh Yankiv. He was the most sweetest man in the world.
And your mother?
I was his pet. His pet.
Were you the youngest?
I was the second from the oldest.
Second from the. What about your mother? What was her name?
Gito.
Gito.
Gito. My daughter's name. Gito.
After your mother.
After my mother.
Tell me something. You had how many sisters? How many brothers?
We were 9 children. The older brother passed away before the war. We had an epidemic of typhus in our town, and I lost quite a few friends, and I lost my brother. So I became the oldest of the family. And I lost another brother as a child. He was a little baby when he passed away of diphtheria, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So when Hitler came to Europe in 1930, on September 1st, I remember that so vividly. You just cannot forget it. The radio was playing across the street in the window of some neighbors, and they announced that Hitler invaded Poland. That was the saddest day of my life. They said, we know what Hitler did in Germany, because the German people ran away from Germany, came, hopefully they'd be safe in Poland. But
now you say the people, are we talking about the Jewish people that ran away from Germany, or even the regular Germans?
Jewish people,
Okay.
Jews during the war, sure. They ran away from Germany and came to Poland because they thought they might be safer there than in their own hometowns. Even in our town, people used to run away to different towns, hoping they'd be safer there. Like my parents, I had two the youngest sisters. One was 10 and one was 11. And we heard all kind of story what was going on. So I took my parents, my mother, my father, we sent them to a town near Częstochowa called Klobutsk.
Now who did you send? I'm confused. You sent your sisters, the 10 and the 11-year-old?
The youngest.
Okay.
Because we were taught that as long you work, you will survive, you know. And we, older children, we thought we were going to go to a camp, and as long we are working, we will survive. And the parents, they were a little older already, and the sister, 10, 11, we heard story what's happened with the children.
Mm-hmm.
So Częstochowa was at an area where they called it protectorate, and supposedly, it was a rumor, supposedly the people who went to Częstochowa, supposedly they would be exchanged for the German prisoners. The Jewish people would be exchanged. They called this area protectorate. And we were hoping they would survive there. But one day they came and the whole town went to Treblinka. The whole town they took to Treblinka.
What were the names of the two sisters, the two younger sisters?
Yehuda.
Yehuda?
Yehuda, Chaya, Chava. Chaya and Chava. Yehuda, I had three, the youngest sister was Yehuda, Chaya and Chava. Chaya and Chava went with my parents to Kibbutz, and the older sister, Yehuda, went with me to the war camp and then to Auschwitz. And with one of my brothers, Shimek, we all ended up in Auschwitz.
How many brothers were there? 4 brothers?
4 brothers.
And what were their names?
Then the oldest was Meyer, who passed away. Then was Shlomo, Berek, and Shimek. And one was Abraham, who passed away as a child. And then we were the girls, myself, Jetka, Hilda, Chaya, and Chava.
I want to take you back to your town that you lived in as a girl growing up. Could you tell me the name again of the town?
Radzejew Kujawski.
Okay, and at that town, would you consider, how many synagogues did they have?
2 synagogues.
2 synagogues.
One was with the Orthodox, they called it the Shtibel, where the Orthodox people used to pray. And we had, it's a long story. It is my book, I wrote that about it. We had a rabbi who was in our town, and then during the World War I, the children went to Warsaw. The family went to Warsaw, and the children got very rich there in honor of their father, who was a rabbi in our town. They came in 1930, 1935, 6, something. I don't remember exactly the year. It's so many years back, you know. They built a beautiful temple in a school, and that was the, what you call that, Orthodox Reform, I get confused.
Conservative?
Conservative temple, yeah.
Oh.
So we had a conservative temple, and we had an Orthodox temple.
So I'm going to take you to a different time. I'm going to take you to the time when you were separated from your parents and your father.
Yeah.
You were sent to a labor camp.
First, the Germans invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939. 6 months later, they took the men and sent them to a camp. And then they took the woman and sent to a different camp. That was before they stopped, they had made the ghetto. That was before. And I was working in a camp with lots of young girls like myself, and you know, and we were working in demolishing houses. And supposedly those houses were barracks for the Polish army, and the German had no use for the building, so we had to sit and clean the bricks from the concrete. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Remove
So
the concrete.
so they can use the bricks and build other projects, whatever they needed, you know. And it was so hot, I remember, and the wind was blowing, and you could hardly breathe. It was hardly. And during the night, we slept in a barrack on straw on the floor. There was no mattress, nothing. Just the food was very limited, you know. A little soap, a piece of bread. And we were working there for about a year, 6 months or to a year. I just cannot remember. I'm 90 years old, let's face it. But I vision myself being, I can see it. I'm there, I'm doing the work. I see the wind blowing the
dust.
The dust, and then our faces were full of dust. I can see everything, but you know.
I want to ask you something. You mentioned a book. Is that the book I see with you here today?
Yeah, that's my book, yeah.
Can you tell me something? On the book is a picture. Who is that photo of?
And of course, that's my father.